Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to our channel and thanks for logging on. If you enjoy these videos, do me a favor and subscribe to our YouTube channel right here at Watchbox Reviews. I would really appreciate it, and I promise to update daily. If you like this watch, you can see it and purchase it on our website, thewatchbox.com. And today we are discussing the 2018 limited edition Seiko Presage Shippo Enamel SPB073, a 2,500-piece stainless steel limited edition that offers you a power reserve, an enamel flinke style dial, real hand-painted enamel, a radial date, a manufacturer movement, all of this in a package that's both exclusive and, with 100-meter water resistance, surprisingly versatile. So this timepiece on my wrist is easy to wear. Not particularly thick at 14.5 millimeters thick, it does have a wearable case size at 40.6 millimeters in diameter, not counting the crown. It's reasonably constrained across the wrist at 47.9 millimeters, so you could wear this watch on a wrist as small as about 14 centimeters in circumference, perhaps 13.5 centimeters in circumference. 20 millimeter lug spacing if you wish to accessorize, but do consider keeping the Seiko factory strap because it's a higher grade than you'd expect on a watch in this price range. Not calfskin, not rubber, but alligator leather, large rectangular scale, dark navy blue, a monotone stitch, folded edges on the underside, a blue calfskin to match the strap like the watch, a manufacturer product made in Japan. Grand Seiko truly creates every part of the watch, and once again, giving you more than you expect. You might have expected a pin buckle on a watch in this price range. You might have expected a friction fit deployant clasp if you got one. Instead, here we have a deployant with twin trigger release. Upscale and secure, it allows you an extra measure of confidence while donning or removing the watch at bedside. No droppage here. You will note the case is beautifully made with a handsome sculpted look and a little bit of a polish cleft between the junction of the case band and the lugs. You can see how there's a outturned face in satin finished steel, and then there's actually an inward turned face of the lugs, so double beveled on the outside and on the inside. You can see that sharp junction mark, all of high polish between lug and case band, and you can see it on both sides. This is a surprisingly nuanced and appealing case. The watch, shockingly, is not only impressive on its dial. The dial, however, is the highlight of the watch, the pièce de résistance. It is executed by Untitled, which is in Nagano, the home prefecture of Seiko, and they feature not just the rose lathe motif stamped onto the bottom, but an actual hand-applied and hand-polished 1 millimeter thick layer of blue translucent enamel. It's applied by Wataru Tatani, who's an artisan at Ando. He applies this time-honored treatment and does so without the inherent flaw of the date window. The SPB075 sister reference of this watch had a small weakness in its dial execution in that the enamel thinned out adjacent to the date window. With the radial date on the 073, you don't have that weakness. It's a very well executed enamel dial that shows almost no flaws. The only subtle sign that this is enamel and not some sort of rich machine applied lacquer is the rough, slightly rusticated surface if you look at the polished blue underneath a loop, but it's beautiful in its flaws. Like every enamel dial, it shows signs of the traditional handcraft. All of the indices, or I should say the stylized Roman numerals, are off-white. The hands at center, as well as the indicator for power reserve and the date, also off-white, a luscious cream coloration that's beautifully paired with the blue. There's a chapter ring that's sloped and glossy outboard to allow you to more precisely read minutes and seconds. And note the attention to detail, as one half of the needle style constant seconds has been colored to match the indications of the dial, and the other half is of high polish with a gorgeous moon-inspired lunette style counterweight. Now when you wind the watch, you will note the power reserve at 9 o'clock sweeps towards the maximum rated power reserve of 45 hours, and the watch, although fitted with an unconventional radial date, does feature a quick set function for the date so you can rapidly cycle it. Also present and correct hacking seconds so you can set the watch precisely, turn it all over, and you can see the manufacturer caliber 6R27. I'm going to try to get as close as I can to this one and keep it in focus. But automatic winding, 45-hour power reserve, 28,800 vibration per hour beat rate. You have that power reserve indicator, hacking seconds, and the quick set date. Seiko makes everything. The springs, the stones, the wheels, the plates, the staffs, the bridges, Even the bearings, even the lubricants. This is one of the most thoroughly integrated manufacturers in the world. It rivals Swatch as a group. Give you one last look at that gorgeous translucent blue enamel dial on top of the stamped undulating radial pattern. This watch is visually explosive, almost too hot to handle. You can get your hands on this limited edition of 2500 on the Watchbox.